and here is my sweet cream or sweet corn casserole. 14 little circles out of this. Oh my gosh, that's 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And here we are. I didn't think it was gonna pop up that easily. I gotta get to chopping those onions. And you know what I forgot on my plate? A piece of sausage. Putting this on top. And oh my gosh, these are delicious. Isn't that cute? And there, that's the finished one. I wish I had videotaped in there. Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing my third Christmas craft for the year 2017. I will be making a Christmas glass bowl snowman. So let me start telling you what supplies you will need so you can get them all together, and we'll start making this. All right, let's talk about the supplies, what you will need. We're gonna need some glass bowls. Now I'm gonna show you what I've got and where I got it from, but you can get it from any place you want. You can get it from any size that you want. Just make sure that the sizes are gonna be big enough to fit some items in there, which I will tell you about. The first thing you'll need is you're gonna need a large glass bowl. These are also called fish bowls, so just get just one of these. This one is, let's see, this is an 8-inch. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It was $7.99. And of course you can use a coupon on it or wait for these items to be on sale, or just, you know, buy them one at a time and get them with a coupon. The next one I got is a, let's see what size this is. Does this even say? Oh, well, it says 5.5 inch, and this was $3.99. I also got this from Hobby Lobby. It's another little glass fish bowl style, and this will go on top of that other one. And then of course I've got this one. Now they did have a smaller one from here, but I felt like the head, because this is going to be the head of the snowman, I felt like it was going to be too shorty, but I decided that this one was going to fit just nice, and it was going to be a nice little head for my snowman. So this is a $1.27. I also got it from Hobby Lobby. I don't see a size on it, but I think you can get the idea. It's got the little fluted edge on it, so that's what I've got. Of course, you can get whichever ones that you like. The next thing we're going to need, as I mentioned, we're going to need some items to put inside, to showcase inside our glass bowl. And you can use anything. You can use some ornaments. You can use a little miniature from your little village, little Christmas village. They have those little miniature items, which is kind of where I shopped from. Now, I already had some miniatures, but I decided that I didn't want to use them in these glass bowls. So I decided to get some new ones. And I got some little snowmen, since this is a snowman themed. Let me show you what I got. I've got this one. They're from my little Christmas collection, and I've got these from Hobby Lobby. So as you can see there, it's a little snowman being built by some little kids, and there's like a little fence in the back. I got that one. I got this other one also with a snowman, and he's getting a little nose kiss from a ranger. It's really cute. And that one was $7.99. By the way, this one was $9.99. Now I got all these at 40% off. So this one was $6. I don't know how much this was. I don't have my receipt again, but it was $7.99 with minus 40%. So whatever that is. And I do know $9.99 minus 40 is $6. And here's another one that I got. This was also $10. Got it for $6. And it's a collection of 4 little snowmen. So I'm going to use these inside of my containers. But you can use anything, as I mentioned. You can use some ornaments, maybe some keepsakes that you've had from a baby's first Christmas, or maybe you're going to create a baby's first Christmas or a couple's first Christmas. You can put in some frames, some loved ones that you just want to remember. Just some fun stuff that maybe you have some ornaments that are left over and they no longer go with your other ornaments on your tree, but you still want to showcase them, so maybe you want to put them in there as long as they fit in there properly. Okay, besides that, we're going to need some extra little items. And what you're going to need is some flowers. Now, I forgot to get something from Hobby Lobby. So I was at the Dollar Tree, so I went ahead and I grabbed a little bush of poinsettias. So this was only $1. You can get your items from anywhere, as I mentioned. I was at Target also, and I found these little pines. These were actually in their fall and Halloween. It says greenery pick, and it was $1. It's got 3 silvery pine cones. You can use anything. Of course, they have stuff there at Hobby Lobby. They have stuff at Walmart, Michael's, and of course I'm going to use my garland that I've got left over that I've used in the other 2 videos that you've already hopefully seen. But if you haven't, go look at them. Okay, and I have some mesh left over that I also used on one of my other arrangements, so I'm going to use a little bit of that. And I already had a bow that was already made. Now if you want to know how to make bows, I'm going to link down below how to create your own handmade bows. You can go look at that video and learn how to make your own bows. I already have one already made. I've got some fabric here. You can use a little scrap of ribbon, but this is going to be for a little scarf from a snowman. So you can put that on there. You don't have to use that. Now I want to put a top hat on my snowman. So I went ahead and I got myself some stiffy felt. This is from Hobby Lobby. These are a 12 by 18 sheet and it's 99 cents. Super cheap. And I got 2 of them because I always grab 2 because I have no idea if I'm going to just need 1 or 2. But it's going to be for a little top hat that'll fit over this top bowl. And when we get to it, I'll show you how to make that. Okay, we're going to need some snow. So I do have this snow cover, and I got this at Dollar General. It was $3. You can get any snow cover that you want. This is what it is. We're just going to use a little bit from that, not too much. I also have some snow flakes. Snowflakes. I got this package from Hobby Lobby some time ago, and I've been using a little bit at a time. I also got these little snowballs from Hobby Lobby. Now at the Dollar Tree, yeah, that's right, Dollar Tree. Sorry, I just kind of had a little brain fart because you know what? There's some noise outside. The lawn is being done, and there's a lot of noise, and it's just distracting. Okay, so anyway, at the Dollar Tree you will find snow like this. Some in smaller little snowballs, a lot finer than this. And you can certainly use that. I think that's it. What we're going to use as far as our supplies. We do need some tools. We will need some glue, and I've got my E6000 glue because I am gluing together glass. And my glue gun will work, but it's only really just temporary. And I don't want this toppling off or anything. So I'm going to use some E6000, but I am going to be using my hot glue gun so that I can have a quick bond while I'm doing this video for you. But the E6000 is something that you will need if you do not have the E6000, which you can find at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Probably at Walmart too, I'm not really sure. You can get this super glue, fix all adhesive. This works great on glass. I got this from the Dollar Tree, little tube, just like that. Of course, you will need your glue sticks for your glue gun, wire cutters, scissors, and if you need to make a bow, you're going to need some wire, okay? Let's see. I also have this, oh, by the way, this mesh, I got it from the Dollar Tree, and this is what it looks like. I had another package, so I thought I'd bring that out and show that to you. Also from the Dollar Tree, I got this sparkle tool. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but as we go along, we'll find out if I do. So if you want to grab something like that, that'll be great. Now, to remove the stickers from my bowl, if they peel off easily, great. Sometimes they don't want to, and I mentioned some time ago in another craft that I use a product called Goo Gone, and somebody had asked me, what is that Goo Gone? And I never did show anything. So I'm going to tell you right now, this is a product called Goo Gone. This removes like sticky stuff, gum, things like that off of items. And this sticker is coming off very easily, but then there's a little bit of little specks of it, which, I mean, I could obviously just scratch off, but instead of scratching it off, I can just get a little paper towel, grab some of this Goo Gone onto it, and wipe it off. And it has a really nice citrusy smell, so it's not going to be bad. This, you can use it for, let's see, crayon marks, stickers, gummy messes, and other gooey stuff. And I have used it like on carpet when I've gotten some little sticky stuff on there and I don't know what the heck it is, because, you know, you have kids and you don't know what the heck it is. And this stuff will take it off, by the way. And it also works really well cleaning your countertops, by the way. Very nice and white. Okay, I think that's all. If anything else comes along, I will let you know as we're doing the video, or as I'm doing the video and you're watching. And I think I'm going to use a Goo Gone to remove some of the stickers, because I think I'm going to have a little bit of trouble. No, they came right off. Great. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start making our snowman. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've cleaned my bowls and I've removed the stickers, and I did go ahead and use a little bit of Goo Gone just to make sure that any sticker was taken off, especially from this middle one and also from the very top one. I wanted to make sure these stickers were gone. Now, after I cleaned it with the Goo Gone, I used a clean napkin to wipe it all off to make sure that there wasn't any residue of the Goo Gone left on these. So now I'm ready to go ahead and start gluing them. But before I glue them, I want to go ahead and put the items that I want to put in each bowl. So the first one that I'm going to do is going to be this large bowl. And I want to put this little snowman in there, and I want to put it on the bottom. Now the bottom of the inside of this bowl has a little bit of a curve, so it does a little bit of tilting. And that's okay, because we're going to put some snow in there, and I'll keep it from doing that. And of course, we're going to glue him down. But I decided that he was a little too low in the bowl. This is going to go on the top. And as you can see, he's a little bit low. So we're just going to lift him up a little bit. So I'm going to cut off a piece of styrofoam. And I didn't mention this before because I didn't think I was going to use it. But now I do. So I'm just going to cut off about 3/4 inch, half an inch, 3/4 inch of styrofoam, and I'm just using a craft knife. And you know, make sure you got something underneath so you don't scratch up your table. And I'm using white because obviously I don't want to use green and have to cover it too much. So I've got some snow that I'm going to use in there anyway. So now I'm just going to cut off a little cube. It's not exactly 1 by 1 inch, but about half to 3/4 inch thick down here. So I'm going to need this other little piece. I'm going to save it over to the side. Let's move this. And now we're going to want to glue the styrofoam down to the bottom. So I'm going to use a little bit of the E6000. And then I'm also going to use my hot glue gun. Oh, goodness gracious. I got a little fuzzy on my finger that wouldn't come off. And I can't open my glue, so I'll be right back. All right, I didn't want to have to show you my struggles with my glue cap. I went ahead and I just worked a little bit and I got it off. But anyway, here we go. We're just going to put some E6000 on this. And because E6000 needs at least 8 hours to bond and really dry, we're going to add some hot glue to get a quick bond. And really I could stick the styrofoam on there with just my hot glue, but I don't really want it to come off. So the E6000 will make sure that it won't. And see, now I can go ahead and glue this on top of the little piece of styrofoam, and it'll be a little bit higher. And then we're going to fill it with snow, so all that will get covered. All right, so let's go ahead and put some snow, or sorry, some E6000 or the super glue that you get at Dollar Tree. You can use that. I'm going to put it on the styrofoam because I'm not sure about the surface area on the bottom of that little ornament. What's a little village ornament? Okay, and I'm going to add some hot glue as well so we can get a quick bond. And I'll put my little snowman on top. Press him down. Yep. We're going to give him a little bit, and we're going to test him in a little bit, so make sure that he's not loose. And I'm just making sure that my glass is clean. I don't have any things. And I see something, but oh, here's my napkin. I had lost my napkin, the dry one. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe that because I got my little oily fingers in there because I had that goo gone on my fingers. So now I'm just going to make sure that the inside of the glass is clean. You can use some Windex or some item like that. Just make sure that you dry it really well because you don't want to keep that moisture in there, since we're going to seal everything. Seal everything in there. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of this snow cover. Let's do a little bit of a shake. Okay, he's in there. We don't need to shake him up any harder. We don't need to prove that he's in there because he's obviously not permanently glued yet. So let's do that. Now, we could leave these open. Put a lot of little ornaments in there. Leave these open overnight so that the next day you can come back and then start putting them together. Because I'm not sure, but I feel like if we were to seal this while it's still not glued, that E6000 may not dry properly since there's no ventilation, no air flowing in there. So I'm going to recommend that you put your little ornaments in there if you're going to, glue them down, because you don't want them shaking around. This is something that you're going to store as one item later. Okay, so you want to leave these open with your little ornaments in there, but for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and do it all for you. Okay, this is the first time that I make this craft. I saw something similar and I wanted to make it, so obviously I don't know where I'm going with it, but I do have an idea, so hopefully you'll see something wonderful created here. Okay, so I'm going to put some of this glue in here. Some of the snow in there, and I'm just tucking it all the way down. Now you could put some glue underneath and make sure that it does kind of glue down, but I think it's fine just like that. Or what do you think? Let's go ahead and glue it down. You know why? Because if it does shake around, we don't want it lifting up and then getting on top of the little guy. So I'm just going to drop some glue way into the bottom of the bowl. Let it drip in there. Little webbings. You can always wipe those off once they're dry, so we're just going to leave them. I've got some little webbings coming out here. You can't see it on the video, but I can see it from here. And I'm just going to leave them alone and quickly put this in there, because when you put hot glue on glass, it dries really fast because the glass is cool. So that's why it's hot glue gun. The hot glue from the hot glue gun is not the best thing to adhere glass because it doesn't stick well. It doesn't make a nice bond. Okay, I'm just adding enough in there to get that little snow to stick down. Now I'm going to add a little bit more on this side right here. Just a tiny bit. Just a little glob like that. This time I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on that. And just tuck it in there and push it down. Okay? And kind of just so that it's level with the ornament that's in there. Okay? You're just cover the styrofoam, but you don't want to cover the ornament. So make sure you push it down, but not so far down that you see the styrofoam. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in some of these flakes. We're kind of doing like a, what do you call those globes that you shake up and all that stuff. But we're not going to shake these up, but snow globe. Are they called snow globes? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, or water globes. I don't know. Anyway, let me remove these webs, these from the glass now, since they're dry. They come off just, you know, easily. You don't want to remove them when they're wet, because what happens is you end up pushing them down and they smear all over. Now on glass you can remove it with that glue gun. It's perfect for that, but you know, it's a headache. So now I have to clean it again. So just let it dry and then remove them. Okay, I'm just dropping all this little snow as much as you want on the bottom. We don't want to cover our ornament though. Just a little snow. And if you wish, you can add some of these little snowballs as well in there. And I'm just going to throw a few of them in there, just like that. Okay? So you can see that. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put, there's a little bit here that's not separated, so I'm just separating them a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this jar in the opening of my bottom one. But I want to make sure, I've been doing homecoming moms and things, so there's glitter everywhere, and as much as I clean it off, I always find some glitter. So I've been using black glitter as well, so it looks like a bunch of little speckles of dirt, and it's really just the glitter. It just wants to stick everywhere. So I'm just making sure that it's not on the inside, because I can always wipe the outside. Alright, so now I'm going to see where exactly this rests, and then I'll put some E6000 and my hot glue gun. Now, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, I don't like the way that's going to look. I'm going to put some more of that snow down here to kind of cover that up. And then on the top one, it's going to have a little scarf, so it's going to cover that up. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put it about right here. Let's see. Gotta get some of that off my fingers. Okay. I'm going to put it on the inside of this. Now don't put too much, it starts to drip down, because, you know, you can't go in there and clean it up after. So I'm going to have to be real careful with the glue gun, because the hot glue will tend to drip. So I'm just putting drops and trying to get it on there as quickly as I can and closer to the inside edge, because I don't want it to drip. Okay, now I see a little bit of a drip, so I'm just going to lift that up carefully, a little string of there, and I'm going to put this in there. There we go. Now I could use my hot glue gun, but you know what, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to move this anymore. I'm going to leave it like that. This is obviously going to have to dry overnight. It's not going to be ready. It's not going to be ready sealed now, but I'm just doing it for the video purposes. So hopefully this won't move around on me. I'm going to get this other little piece, but I'm going to cut it even smaller, because I am going to put this one on this top one. And I need a smaller piece. So I'm just going to cut it about, it's about an inch or so by another half, oh not, sorry, but that's about an inch right there. This is about an inch and a half, and that's about half an inch to 3/4, I think. I don't have a ruler, so I can't really tell. You know, just cut a little piece. It's not too high, not too big, and it goes perfectly underneath here. So why don't we do this? Let's move you aside there, mister. Okay, let's go ahead and put some glue on this piece of styrofoam, and then we'll put some of this hot glue, and we'll stick it to the bottom like that. Because I know I want him in there like so. And I had all these other little snowmen, and this one has a very small space for them. So I think it'd be cute if I put, I don't know about this guy. What do you think? Does he look too fall? I don't like his little hat. So we're just gonna put him aside. I do like this guy. He's got a little top hat, and it kind of goes with the theme of what I'm gonna be doing. So I think I want him in front of this guy. Of course, let's face it towards you because this is actually the front. So make sure you pay attention to the ornament that you have down there, which way it's facing, so that you also do the same with this one. So I'm going to put him a little bit far back. I'm going to cut another little piece of styrofoam to fit under this little guy here that I'm going to put in there. Let's move these guys over. Put a little bit of glue on here. Hot glue. Put him on that. Okay. That's good. Okay, now let's get this guy glued down into the jar. So get some of this in there, on there, and then the hot glue gun on the edges here. And like I said, this is going to go a little bit further back. There we go. The side so you can see how further back I put him. That's where he looks like in there. At the end, of course, I'll put the camera over it so you can see everything that I've done. Okay, let's get some glue on the bottom of this one. By the way, this glue does have a little bit of a strong scent, so you want to do this in a ventilated area. I've got my door closed in this room so I can smell it. And I'm putting this guy towards the front. I'm angling him just a little bit. So there he is. Can you see him in there? Let's put it this way so you can see. A little bit of the top there so you can see. Those lights are reflecting, so okay. I need the light so that you can see everything. Okay, let me cover this for a little bit because I've got a little fan going too, and I don't want that to. Let me fix my jar because it kind of moved on me. There we go. I think when I was pushing down, I kind of twisted the jar a little bit. So what I'm going to do is on this outer edge, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue. Let's turn it around. I'm going to do the same on the little front edge. Now, you're wondering what I meant by covering that up. Okay, before I do, let's get some snow in there too, okay? So I'm going to bunch this up, put a little glue on the, what I'm going to say is the bottom. So I'm going to put this, carefully tugging it in so that the glue doesn't smear up against anything, or the glue doesn't smear on anything. And just spread this out. And this you'll have to do in like smaller bits, okay? So just be patient. Do this carefully. A little bit of glue. I'm going to tuck this guy right behind this snowman here. I see that I need some in front of him right there, so I'm going to get another little piece. Kind of smush it together, make it small. Get it in there. And I need some more on this other side. Let's get that web of glue out and off. Alright. These videos are running long because there's so much little details, but really it's going to give you, I feel like it's going to give you a lot of pleasure creating something. So, if anything, at least watching the video, I hope you're getting some pleasure out of that. Okay, let's push this guy here. I'm going to push this guy here because some of that snow got stuck on his arm. And some of that glue went on there. And that's okay because remember, I'm going to throw in that flaky snow. So that'll cover that up. And I'm just going to tuck this one in there because it's going to go in there kind of tight. There we go. Now, you can always use your scissors or your craft knife. I don't like the way this guy keeps popping up. Let's push him in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now we're going to put some of these snowflakes on there. Especially right up here in the front. There we go, just like that. As much as you want, or as little as you want. And then some snowballs. Okay. You can see that there? Those flakes and the snowballs in there. Okay, so I'm going to cover this up so I don't see all that glue. So I'm going to take the same snow and I'm going to kind of pull it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it around here, okay? Because he's a snowman. And then I'm going to put some at the very bottom too, just so it all matches. Okay, let's do that. Let's make him pretty and cover up that. So let's just put a little bit of glue, little drops here and there. And just do a little spot at a time. And just pull the snow as you go along. So you don't get a big old glob of it. You just want a little bit. And you don't have to make it even because you want to, obviously you want to just snow, just want it to look like snow. So it's okay, there's little lumps here and there. Okay. Glue little bits down as you go. Let me remove this nasty glob of glue here with my glue gun. There we go. And then I'll just wipe the rest of it because I'm getting little fingerprints all over it. Okay, let's continue covering up these bits. Let me move this a little bit and put some more glue right there. Okay, there we go. Just pull it so you can make little strands. I feel like I'm pulling on cotton candy or something. Okay, get that on there. Put that on there. Gotta put some glue here so it gets down in there. Stick, 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 stick. Okay, let's get some more. This fan is also making the hot glue dry really fast, so I'm just going to do little bits at a time rather than a long 5 to 6 inch space. I'm just going to do little bits. Okay, and just tear off any leftovers, and anywhere that you see that there's like a little gap, just take a little bit of snow, swirl it up, put a little bit of glue on it. My goodness. This isn't as hard as it's looking. And if it is, well, it's a good way to learn how to do stuff. Okay. Okay, let's get one. I feel like I needed one over here. There's like a little gap right here. I'm going to add some glue. Put some more of this snow. I'm trying to get this glue on the glass because if I put it on the little snow, what happens is this bits of snow get stuck to my tip of my glue gun, and then I end up bringing them with them, and the next time I want to put glue, that little fuzzies are on the tip. So that was my problem. Okay, so then I put some glue there. That looks really pretty because it's not hiding what's inside, and it's not hiding what's in the bottom either, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put some on the bottom as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut and come back. So that'll be done, and then we'll continue on with the rest of it. Alright, so I've gone ahead and finished putting the snow on the bottom. If you don't like the way that looks, just don't put it on there. But you might need it here on here to cover the glue. If you feel you'd rather put a little ribbon, put that on there as well. Or if you want to use pine garland, you can use that, but just make sure that you buy like a real thin one. And they do have chenille stems that look like a pine, so you might want to consider that to put around here to cover that up if you want to try doing that instead. There we go, because you are going to see the glue, so we're going to have to cover that up with something. Unless you're very precise about adding glue and you're okay with the way the seam looks, then great, don't cover it up. Okay, we have one more that we want to put some little snowman. So I'm going to use this little guy and this other one. I don't know why. I don't want to discriminate against it, but it's just his hat that I don't like. It looks too Halloweenish. It's like made out of little twigs or something. I don't know. Maybe if I painted it, it'll be fine. But I think I'll just save him for something else. Maybe a little ornament. So I'm just going to put these two little guys because there's not a lot of space in there. Oops. So let's get another little piece of styrofoam. And this one's got a pretty deep little bottom bit here. Sorry. This has got a pretty deep little bottom bit. Here we go. So this ornament's going to go all the way down to here. And then of course then we've got this bit here, which is where it curves right here. So it's okay if our little styrofoam is a little bit taller, as long as there's enough space there. And the little ornament, it's not going to be like way up here and then you're not going to see it. So you can just kind of eyeball it. And you can decide that, well, maybe this one can be, you know, like an inch in height. So I'm cutting off about an inch. And that, and then in half again to create my little stand for my little snowman. So I'm going to see if that's good. Oops. Let's put this flat down again. I'm looking at it from the side. I think that's good. Just as long as when you look at it from the side, your little ornament's not like way down here, like he's up here where this curve is right here, somewhere around there, and he's not way down here, and he's not like way up here or halfway. You know, kind of eyeball it to make sure that he's going to be showing clearly through the bowl. Okay, let's go ahead and put that little piece that I just cut off. I'm going to cut it a little bit more because it's kind of big. Just a little bit, just enough to fit the surface of the bottom of our little snowman. Put some glue, some E6000 on there, and then some hot glue. Glue him onto it, like so. And then we're going to put E6000 on the bottom and some hot glue. I need more glue in my glue gun. Okay. And I'm going to put him a little bit back because I've got that other little snowman that I'm going to put in there as well. So here we go from the side so you can see. That's his front. And he's kind of off to the side, off to the right, or he can be off to the left a little bit. It doesn't matter. Or he can be centered, whatever you want. But I put him a little bit to the right and to the back. So then this little guy, who's smaller, will be a little bit to the left and more to the front. And was this the height? No, this is not the height. This is the height. Cut a little piece of this E6000 hot glue. Stick them on there. Now on the bottom as well. And hot glue. Pushing them down on there. Can you see him? See, he's not directly in front of him if I hold him like this. And he's off to the front a little bit. So that's just up to you how you want to play aerial view. Okay. We'll be right back because my camera is saying stop. Okay, so I'm back. We're going to go ahead and finish gluing this on top, and then we're going to give this a little time because my camera is saying I need to recharge, so I'm going to go ahead and do that so that I don't have these awkward cuts in my video. Okay, let's do this. Basically, I'm going to do the same as I did when I glued this one to the bottom one, that is. So just put some glue around the edge. That's about to trip. There we go. All the way around. Now this bowl does go in a little bit lower. Let me grab another little bowl that I'm going to show you real quick before I put that in. Now this glue's not going to dry right now, so we can take a quick little break and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back and I've got my glue ready to get this in there, but I wanted to show you something real quick, and I have the glue on there, so I'm not really going to set it in there. I just wanted to show you something. I have these little fish bowls that I got at Dollar Tree. These are a little bit smaller than the one that they have at Hobby Lobby that'll fit in here, but it was, to me, it was just a little too shorty. Now, I could have used that because then I don't have to put an ornament in there if I didn't feel it was going to fit properly in there. I could have just maybe painted a snowman face on there or just put some snow in there. But I did get these at the Dollar Tree, and this is more or less kind of like an idea of what it would look like with one of these. And this seems to fit if I was to push it down a little bit more, but I don't want to because I don't want to get any glue on here. But if I was to put it in there, this would fit kind of nicely in there, and it has a nice little round top, but I still wanted to use this because I'm going to use these for something else, and I want to get on with my video. So I just was going to giving you an idea of more or less what it would look like if it had this little bowl. Now, of course, it'll be a little bit further in, and I just don't want to touch the glue. So that just gives you an idea, okay? And I did get some glue, but that's okay because I've got my glue gun. Okay, and I'm going to wipe that off before it dries. Thankfully, this glue takes a while to dry. Okay, so I just want to make sure that the ornament on the bottom is facing forward. These are obviously facing forward as well. They're a little bit off, but they're okay. They're still okay. This is my front right here. And then I'm going to make sure I face these guys forward as well. Got some glue on my fingers there. So I'm just going to wipe off the excess here. Just wipe it. There we go. That looks better. Okay, now I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue just to give it a quick bond for the video. I'm not going to put any in the front. I'm just putting some in the back. Okay. So that's all you're going to do. You're going to let this dry. Now, like I said, if you do these separately first, get all these little ornaments glued inside. Make sure they're all, you know, stack them up and make sure the ornaments are fine in there. You can see them. Now, obviously, with this particular bowl, it hangs with inside of this bowl quite a bit, but it still is not touching the top of the other ornaments. It doesn't look that bad. We're going to put a little scarf around here. Now, if you were to put this type of a bowl, it'll set in there, but it won't set in as deeply as this one does. But I felt like I still like this one better, so it's really up to you what you decide. Okay, so just giving you a little show there. Okay, we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna do some recharging, and we're gonna come back and finish decorating this. I'm really excited about finishing it. I think it's gonna look really cute, and I think you're gonna like it. So we'll be back. All right, so I'm back, and I decided to go ahead and finish off the top, which I've added some snow in there and some of the flakes and the little snowballs, just like I did in the bottom ones. So that's it right there. You can see it from the top, and this is what it's looking like so far. So now we need to make a top hat for it and then finish decorating it. And I've got my stiff felt right here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move the camera down a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing right here, and we'll get to doing this. All right, I think you can see a little bit better. I'm going to take one of these sheets because I think I'm only going to need one. And what I want to do is I want to create a hat for my snowman. So I'm going to see what the diameter is of the top part here. So I've got a ruler here. You can use anything to measure. And the diameter is about 4 1/4 inches. Okay? So that's the diameter that I'm measuring him. So I want to make sure that the brim of my hat is going to be bigger than that. So I'm going to go, let's see. I want to remember that 4 1/4 inch. So if I decide to do, I'm going to go 6 1/4 inch. See if I can get a 1 inch all the way around. So I'm going to measure here. I should really get like a pen or something, or maybe do it on a piece of paper first, but I'm just going to go straight up on here. And then I'm going to use the straight edge, line it up against this straight edge, the straight edge of the end here. I'm going to line it up against the bottom edge of the felt, right where I marked it, and leave it nice and straight. And now, you could be using a cutting mat underneath and using a rotary cutter, which would be a lot easier. But if you don't have that, of course, you can use your scissors. You can use a piece of paper to make your pattern first before you cut. I'm going to cut up about the same, 6 1/4 or half or something like that. I'm just going to go up 1/4. Okay. So then I need, let me turn it around less way. So you can take off the little label. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a 6 1/4 to 6 1/2 inch square. Okay, if that helps anybody. Where is it that it ends? Right about there. More or less, okay? You can cut it a little bit bigger just so you can help yourself there. Okay, this is more or less a square. And I'm gonna put this on top of here because I like how much it comes out. I do. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to round off this square to make a circle, but I don't want to cut too much off. So I'm just going to be rounding off the corners a little bit and to the sides. Now you can go ahead and get yourself one of them, I guess it's a protractor, put in the middle and mark a circle on a piece of paper, cut it out first, and then put it on here and use it as a marker, or use something that's about the size that you like and use that to trace around or cut around. But me, I have to do it the hard way. So this is the way that I'm doing it. Okay, so it's okay. You can do it any way you want. So here we go. This is going to be the brim of the hat. We're going to put that on top. Okay, so now what we want is the part of the hat that goes up. And I'm going to use this part here. I'm going to use the whole length, the 18 inches, because I don't know how tall. I mean, I do know how tall, which is whatever this leftover bit is. That's how tall I want it to be. I could be saving myself a lot of trouble if I just trace it, but you know, this is I'm just doing it the hard way so that you know you can do it this way too. And just do it the easy way for yourself. Okay. I'm just gonna trim a little bit, make a nice and little nicer cut there because I did a little bit of a rough cut. There we go. That's a little bit nicer. So you got this piece, and this was an 18-inch all the way across. So now this comes out to be, wait, hold on, let me get my numbers in the right position here. This comes out to be 5 3/4, this height. You don't have to use that height, you can use whatever height you want. Remember, I got 2 pieces of felt, so if I wanted to, if I need this, I can use this piece instead. And I still have this other little piece also left over. I could use all of this, or I could use another sheet to help me make my hat, but I'm going to try and just use just this. So okay, so this is going to be the part of the hat that goes up, okay? And this is going to be the top part of the hat that's going to close off the hole that's going to be left on the top once we do this. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, why is this not, does this not have a hole? I'm going to put a hole because I want it to go over this, and I kind of want it to go over it so it lays on this edge here. I don't want it to lay on top of here, so I'm going to have to cut a hole out of this. But I'm going to do this once I'm build my hat and I know where I can cut to get it to fit in there. And I can just cut a little bit at a time so I know that I didn't cut too much. So let's do this carefully. Let's do this slowly. Okay, so we want this brim to go on our hat. And remember, the diameter that I measured up here was 4 1/4. So we want to go slightly bigger so that it clears. In other words, we want this to clear over this part. We want it to be able to get inserted in around this outer part. Maybe I need to move the camera. If I do this, it's not right. Let's go right here. So when I have this, I need it to go in and out, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. So we want to make this tube the diameter of that. Okay, let's go ahead and figure this out. We said 4 1/4. So I'm going to sort of do a little circle here and just kind of measure 4 1/4. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit big. Let's go a little bit smaller. I'm going to trim some of this off because I already know that it's too big. So I'm going to trim some of it off. Not a lot, just enough so I can work with this. And then I'll know where this is, how this has to be. It has to be right about here. And it's overlapping about 3/4 inches, okay? This is overlapping 3/4 inches. Now that I know that, let's measure this whole bit here, this whole length, and this whole length is 14 1/2. These are the measurements that I'm getting for my hat for this bowl that's up on here. Now if you get that, you use the other little bowl, the smaller one that I showed you earlier that matches the shape of these, then you'll have to measure your little hat to fit to rest right on top of it. Okay, so all you're going to have to worry about is making sure that this brim that's going to go on the other little, you know what, let me go grab it so I can tell you what I'm talking about. Be right back. All right, so I went ahead and I grabbed this little fishbowl. So let's say you decide to use this style of fishbowl, which matches the style of these at the top. Now there's nothing up here, no little scalloped edge that I need to hide. So all you're gonna have to worry about is making a brim that fits on top of here. Obviously not, maybe not as big as this, maybe a little bit smaller. So you're just gonna measure the diameter and then just go a little bit bigger and cut this out. So you won't have to cut out anything because you're just gonna glue it right on top. And then on top of that, you're gonna glue a little top hat, and then of course a little circle to cover up this open bit up here on the top. That's all you're going to have to do. Now, because I decided to go the hard way, because that's just the way that I always do things, I want it to go over this. So I've already measured this, and I've decided that 14 and, what did I say, 14 and 3/4, is that what I said? Oh, I said 14 and a half. Yeah, it's 14 and a half, and I'm going to overlap it by 3/4. So I'm going to, sorry, yes, by 3/4. I don't want to forget that. We're going to overlap it by 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to measure, and I'm going to just put some glue at the 3/4 mark, and I'm going to do this. And if this fails, well, I've still got another piece of felt. So let's get it to overlap here. 3/4. The same over here. There we go. And just press it down when you've put the glue. Now, if you don't feel confident, just put a little bit of glue at a time. Press it down, lift it up, put some more glue, which is what I'm going to do right here because it's my little fan is making this glue dry really fast. Okay, so now I've got this. And I'm going to measure it again here. And sure enough, I've got 4 1/4. Remember I said this was a 4 1/4 diameter? I've got 4 1/4 diameter on this. I'm going to slide it on top of here and make sure that it fits. And perfect. It doesn't go any further down onto the top of my bowl. See? And you can see the little snowman in there. Okay. Let's make it a little tighter because I feel like it's a little loosey-goosey. So I'm going to go ahead and undo this, but I've already got my glue mark there. So I'm just going to go a little tiny bit tighter. I don't want it to fall too far down. I'm just going to go a little bit tighter. Thankfully, I can pull it apart. This glue. Okay. Just a little bit. Not quite an inch. But just a little over 3/4. Okay. And I want it to, oh, okay. I want it to fit tight on there. It's still a little bit loose. Maybe we'll do an inch. Let's do it again. We'll get this right. Like I said, I didn't know where I was going and how I was doing this, so I didn't look at any instructions when I saw the inspiration to creating this so that I have an idea. Because, you know, I have to do things differently. So you're learning with me. Okay. You probably decided already, oh, I'm not going to use that bowl. I'm going to use that little tiny fish bowl. It's just too complicated. Okay. Let's try this again. This is tight. I like it. Okay. It doesn't fall as far down. It was falling down a little bit further, and it was kind of hiding my little snowman in there, and I didn't like it. Can't really tell because I've got the camera angled downward. So it's obviously not looking at it correctly, but if I was to hold this, so you can see the little snowman in there. Okay, so now let's put the brim part on there. All we're going to do is put some glue on the edge, and I'm going to do a little bit at a time. And just kind of more or less get it on there. And then what you do is you go around and then you just trim this. So find where it's the thinnest, and then just follow that and trim off all the way around it so that it's all nice and, you know, it looks even. Let's turn it upside down so we can glue this a little bit better. Now, when do we cut that little hole? I'll show you in a minute because we're going to do this one step at a time. I didn't want to cut the hole because I wanted to make sure that I glued it down first and it wasn't going to be all in a weird place. Okay. Okay, so we've already glued it down, this whole bit on here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and see where the thinnest is, and then I'm going to use that measurement to kind of eyeball it and then just trim around the hat. And I can tell that this little area here is the thinnest, so I'm just going to follow that. And then just do that. Just trim. And do a trim a little bit at a time, okay? That way you don't trim off too much. So there's the top of my hat. There you go. And now I need a circle for the top. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it upside down first before I cut this hole because I want to measure this. So I'm going to put this on here and I'm just going to cut a square that's just slightly bigger than the diameter of this, okay? So about right here. You can save this little piece for something else. And we're going to put this on top of there. But before we do, we need to cut a hole here. Now, you can just puncture a little hole with your scissors. There we go. I can tell right here there's no glue. Let's get some glue on there. Okay. We're going to puncture a hole, and I already did. Let's feel around. Where did I do it? Right here. Let's do it again. Because it didn't go all the way through. Okay. So now I'm just going to cut, but feel for where it's glued down. So feel your hat. You can also look at it from the inside. Make sure that your scissors don't go all the way to the wall of this, okay? Just slightly before that. I'm just going to look at it. All these little glue strings. Don't worry about the glue on the bottom here because we're going to be covering that up. That's why we got some little bits of garland. We got little poinsettias and such. And we're going to see what's going to look pretty on here. Okay. So now I know. And I'm going to let you look at it from here. Can you see my fingers in there? Okay. So now what I want to do, because I've cut into it lengthwise like this, now I'm going to cut it like this. And again, I'm going to feel for where the edge of this, I can feel it on this side where the glue, where I glued it. Just touch it, you can feel it. Don't go all the way to it, just get as close to it as you can. And the same on the other, go in the other direction. So you're going to make like a little X, so you have this, where you can push these little bits in. These little flappies can get pushed in. Now we're going to cut them a little bit more, so we're going to get as close as we can. And then in the middle of that, cut another bit, and so forth. And just keep making these little cuts. It's black, so it's hard to tell, but where you can push them in, okay? And just so that you can push them all in. Now, you can cut some more, cut them some more, make them even thinner. These little triangle bits. And I'm going to leave them on there. I'm not going to trim them out because I want them there so that they create this little tightness when I slip it onto here. And I'm going to go ahead and move the camera so you can see me doing that. But first, well, let me test it. Okay, it works perfect. Okay, before we do that, let's go ahead and so you test it on there. Make sure it slips on just fine, but nice and tight. So now I'm going to glue this opening down onto this piece. I'm going to do the same thing. Put a little bit of glue on the edge, a little bit at a time. Then the next part and the next piece until you've got it all glued down. And once that's all glued down, then we're going to trim this. But then we're not going to leave a little brim like we did over here. We're going to trim it as close to this edge as we can, okay? So let's do that. Now these little hats with this felt, you can make them you know, as big as you can with the piece of felt that you have. You know, meaning if you cut this into a 12 by 12, then cut yourself a big old circle and then use another piece to do the brim, or maybe two pieces to do the, not the brim, but the top part. And then, of course, maybe you might need about 4 of these to create like a really big one. But I've used 2 of them to create another top hat and another arrangement. And I'm going to go ahead and link that below, and also for the snowman that I did, because I did the same hat, but of course I did it in different little sizes. But I want you to see how I build this little hat, because this little hat that you build, you can use it in any color, and you can decorate it however you want. You can make a whole bunch of these. You can make little tiny ones, hang them on your tree, little snowman top hats. And so this idea alone, the hat, can be used for many other holidays. You can use, like I said, you can use a different color. You can use felt. And I've also suggested that you can use, like, you know, like the cardboard tube from your oatmeal canister. You can use a coffee can to create this part right here. And then all you gotta do is make a brim for it. And of course the bottom of the can is sealed, so then you put that on the top part and then put the open part down to the brim. And if you need to cut a hole, go ahead. Otherwise, just use it like that. And then you can decorate it and just put it on the table like that. Paint the can, of course, black to match the felt, or cover it up with some fabric. Now, the other thing that you can do is, if you do make your top, you use a little coffee can or something, you want it to look like a hat, cut out the brim, and then don't put anything on the top. Instead, leave the opening of the can on the top, and then you can make a little arrangement out of it. And then you can put some ribbon on it and decorate it so it does look like a top hat, but you've got a little arrangement coming out of it. And this would make great little centerpieces if you're having a little party. So that's just an idea, and you could do it in black, you could do it in off-white or cream or white. Do a shabby chic, maybe for a wedding, pretty little wedding. Make some top hats, you know, to kind of go for the groom, and then maybe put a little cluster of like a little floral bouquet on top to represent the bouquet that the bride holds. So that you can use this idea for anything. You can do it in steampunk style, shabby chic, do it as a snowman hat, you know, as an elegant hat. Okay, so here we go. I've glued this to the top, and I've trimmed around so that it's right on the edge of it. And there we go. We have a little hat, and we've got this. So I'm going to move the camera so that you can see me putting it on the top, and we're going to finish decorating this glass bowl snowman. All right, so what do we have so far? We've got put together our globes and put some snow on the outside as well to cover up this particular meeting here where I've glued it, and I've covered the glue with some snow on the outside. Again, like I said, you could use a little piece of ribbon, or you can use a little pine, a thin pine garland around here, or you could just leave it alone and just make sure that you do a really neat, careful job gluing it. And then, of course, if you're going to let it dry with the E6000, then you don't have to worry about using your glue gun, so, you know, you won't have any dripping. So just do it very carefully and glue it down. And then, of course, this bottom part, you don't even have to put the snow down here. I just did it just to balance off this. You could actually put it on a piece of foam board if you wanted and create a little snow base if you want to put it. Or if you don't want to use foam board, you could also use a piece of wood. You can find some pieces of wood already cut out, and they're really pretty already for you at Hobby Lobby or like at Michael's, and then just paint them white. Maybe even cover them with a little bit of the same snow, so it'll have a base to be on, so it'll all balance out. And that just depends on what you want to do. Now, on hindsight, if I look at it, I think maybe I would rather not have this little snow on the bottom and just this little bit here. You know, really, it's up to you. Okay, so now we were talking about the top hat, and I was going on and on about it. Okay, so you get the idea. I'm going to make sure that this seam where I put this part together and glued it right here is at the back. Turn this around so this is facing you. You would be looking at it like this, and then you slide your little hat, and I made it so it's nice and tight right on there. And because it's tight, I can have it a little bit higher, or I can pull it all the way down. So what I'm going to do, and this might get a little bit messy, I'm going to put a little bit of glue with my glue gun right on the brim. Try not to let it drip, which is kind of what's happening. But I'm going to put some on here so that when I push my hat down on it, it'll rub up against it and get glued onto there. Okay, make sure that none of these glue strings fall on the inside. Make sure you remove them. Okay, so I'm going to do this. It's getting glued on real good. There we go. There we go. I got it. Okay. It was starting to glue, so then it didn't want to pull down. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to push right here where I can feel the edge of the glass bowl. Push it on there. And there we go. There's our little top hat on our snowman, and he's really tall. The top hat. You can make it a lot shorter than that. Okay, so then I told you to use a bow. So the first thing we want to do is put a ribbon on our top hat right here. You can do this a lot shorter. You don't have to do it as tall as I did, okay? I could have probably gone a little bit shorter, but this is what I ended up with. Okay, so I remember I told you to use I already had a bow that was already made. I'm actually going to take it apart because I want to use some of the ribbon on here and then make it a little bit smaller. But I do have other ribbons. I got these at the Dollar Tree, and they have this width, and they have a wider width, which is about, I think it's 2.5 inches. You can certainly use that with this height of a hat. If not, you can use something like this one, which is about 1 inch, or something as small as these. Depending on the height of your hat, you can choose the width of your ribbon. So I'm going to take this little bow apart, and I know it's probably going to have some little wrinkles, but I'm not going to worry about it because you know what? I'm going to cover a lot of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure around here on my hat, and I'm using this ribbon because I used it in my other projects and I want everything to coordinate. And after this, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to be doing some crafts for you, and then I'm probably going to be giving those away. But these items that I'm making right now, these are all going to be in my home, so I want the same ribbon on those items. Okay, I'm going to trim it, the ribbon. I just made sure that it overlapped in the back. Let's move that out of the way. I just made sure that it overlapped here over that one. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. Let's see. I'm going to put a little bit of glue back here on that seam that's on the hat. Put a little bit of glue there. Press this down onto it. Wrap it all the way around. Put a little bit more glue. I can't see what I'm doing like this, so hold on. Let me get this bit of glue off the tip of my gun here. I'm tired, and by this time I'm talking and I don't really know what I'm saying. So, okay, let's put some glue there, wrap it around, and then just press it down. And there we go. Here's the front, as you can see, and there you can see. Okay, so now I'm going to take the leftover bit of ribbon. Like I said, this is not a wire edge ribbon. I like to use wire edge ribbon, but this was a great deal, and I decided that I wanted to use this particular pattern because it goes with everything that I already have, and I didn't want to have to buy a whole bunch of ribbon just for that. You know, because I don't have what I already have to do on my new, I don't have the same ribbon that I've been using to do my new project. So I just found one that coordinated with what I already have. And this is sort of the look that I have. I have the basic, like a traditional type of Christmas colors that I like to use. Okay, so I'm just going to pinch it, make a loop, pinch it, and then I twist, make another loop, pinch it, twist it, and I'm just going to make as many loops as I can. And there you go, pinch it and twist. And if I had more ribbon, I would do a little bit more, but I only get to get 3 loops out of it, and that's fine because you know what? This is a little hat. It's not that big, so I think this is fine. Or should I go smaller? Let's go a little bit smaller. Why not? I'm going to go like halfway. Pinch it and twist. Pinch it and twist. Pinch it and twist. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and link that how to create handmade or creating handmade bowls video in the description box below. So make sure you go and look at that video so that you'll know, or you can practice. Just buy yourself some inexpensive ribbons from the Dollar Tree and practice with that, and make all your bows. And then That way you'll have your little bows ready to decorate all your little projects. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this at a little angle just so I can have the other end over here. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and trim this little tail a little bit. So there, I just have a simple little bow. No big deal. Okay. And I'm going to trim off most of this wire because it's just a little bit too much. And I like that. So that's what I'm going to put on the side. Okay. Put a little bit of glue on that. And glue it there on the side. Now this could be an already finished product. And as you can see, oh, this little hat keeps sliding up and down on me. You know what? I'm going to reach in there. Oops. Let's get that bow on there. I'm going to reach in there and put some more glue so it doesn't keep sliding on me. Let's see. There we go. Let's do the other side. Lift it up a little bit. Put some glue in there. Come on, honey. There you go. There we go. When you're looking at it, let's make sure this is kind of level. That looks good. Okay, now I got my little paper towels here that have that glue gone, and I'm going to use that to wipe my bowls again, which I've had to do repeatedly because I want to make sure I get these little webbings off. I'm not done with the arrangement, but I wanted to show you that this can be your finished product. This can be your finished snowman. Now, another option, instead of putting some little decorations on the top one, you didn't want to buy as many as I did, and you want to buy less, just something for the two bottom ones, or you only have two items to fill the two bottom bowls. The top bowl, you can leave it empty, or you can completely fill it up with some of the snow, the cover that I showed you. Completely fill it in, so it's just a big old snowball, maybe just halfway like I have it there. What you could also do is you could paint a little snowman face on it, or if you can find stickers that are already the little eyes, the nose, and the mouth, or the rub-on type of that you can. They come in a little paper, kind of a plastic, and then you just put it on there and rub it on with a little craft stick, and then you peel it off, and the face is stuck on there. That is great. I tried to find that, and I could not. So maybe you'll have a better luck at doing that, or just paint it on, and you can get an idea of how to paint a snowman face on my pumpkin snowman. So I'm just going to be leading you to all my other videos because they kind of interact with each other. Anyway, so I have this tool and I have this, and I didn't know if I was going to use them, but I said if you have some, get them ready just in case. I have my fabric for my scarf, which you still have to do. I've got some flowers. I'm obviously not going to use all these flowers. I've got some little pine picks, and that's up to you what you choose. And I've got some garland. Now, I'm not going to use a big old piece of garland to wrap around because that's too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off, let's see. I'm going to cut off about 4 inches of garland. Put that to the side. And then what I'm going to do with this is clear everything so you can see what I'm doing here. So this little piece that I've cut off, just bring out all the little branches, and now you're going to cut off the individual branches. So just cut them at the bottom part, each one like so. And the next one, and just cut them off so you have all these little pieces, okay? And maybe you want to cut off a little bit at a time. I'm going to go ahead and cut them all off because I'm sure anything that I might have left over, I can use it on something else. And if I need a little bit more, I can go ahead and grab some more from the garland. But this is what I'm going to, I think this is going to be okay. We're finding out as we go along what to do, what not to do. Okay, here we go. So now, yeah, I'm actually inventing this, sort of inventing this as we go along. At least I'm inventing the instructions and the overall, you know, the ending look here. Okay, and if you want to know where I got the idea, I did see something similar on Pinterest, and but I didn't go into looking to see what the instructions. All I need is a picture, and I think, okay, I've got an idea. I know what I want to do. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I don't know, glass snowman. Okay, we had a little bit of an interruption there, I believe. The camera did a little something. So what I'm doing now is I'm gluing these little pieces of pine onto the hat and the ribbon edge right here. What I'm doing is I've tucked this one behind the bow that I put there, and then the next one I'm going to tuck it behind this pine, and so forth and so on. So as I'm gluing them, I'm going to be gluing them behind each one. So then it looks like a little garland all the way around. Okay, so the next one, at the point where I cut it, tuck it underneath and glue it. Now don't fold it so that it's up against here. Have it stick out a little bit. Can you see that? Okay, I'm going to continue going all the way around. And this is how I create a smaller garland piece so that it's not so big and bulky and it doesn't cover up my ribbon. I think I'm just going to accept the idea that the little hat wants to slide down. That's probably because I'm adding a little bit of weight to it. Okay, let's keep going all the way around. We're almost done. But you can see already what it's looking like. And you could stop at any point in decorating it. Just tucking them in. It looks like I'm going to have a couple left over, but that's okay. I have these little bits here. See? I only need one more little bit to fit right in there. So I think this is the longest one, so I'm going to use this one. The other two look kind of shorty. So I'm just going to tuck that back here. And there you go. You can see the little bits, just like this, that I've used to create a smaller looking garland, if you will, right on there. This is the front right here because I decided to put my bow on this side. You might decide to put your bow back here. Okay, now at this point, little bits of pine. Okay, at this point you can put whatever else you want on it. I am going to go ahead and put one poinsettia on there. They're kind of big. I probably should have bought something a lot smaller, but I wasn't thinking. I was just thinking I need some little flowers. So I'm just going to cut the poinsettia about a little stick about so long, and then I'm just going to curve it a little bit, put some glue on it, and tuck it right in here, right in front of the little bow. And I'm looking at those little pine cones and I'm thinking maybe that might be an overkill. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. Let's see. I feel like the pine cones are too big. So maybe if you get some smaller ones would be better. Now I don't think I'm going to use a tool or this mesh, because you know what, I'm really liking it just like that, nice and simple. If you want to go ahead and add the extra things, go right ahead. Just cut them into small little bits and do that. And if you want an idea of how to do that, again, my top hat arrangement, which I will link down below, will show you how to decorate just the top hat itself, which I put on a candle holder, and I think you'll like. I hope you like, if you haven't already seen it. Okay, so we're going to make a little scarf. So we're going to get our scrap piece of fabric. This fabric was originally, or is still, but the width of it was, I think, 40 or 42 inches wide, you know, open like that. But of course they sell it to you like this, folded and by the yard, and this is the length that they measure by the yard, and I bought half a yard, and I used a little bit on my pumpkin snowman, so I have this piece left over still. So I'm going to cut about 2-inch width of this ribbon. Let me see, kind of like the width of this ruler that I have here. That's about 2 inches. And this is all crooked because they completely cut it off all crooked. But I'm not going to cry about it. Okay, I'm going to cut about 2 inches. So just cut yourself a strip to create your scarf. And I'm using the whole length, and then I'll just trim it. Okay. Now it's skinnier on the ends, but that's okay because I'm going to trim it. Let's bring you back over here. This piece, I'm going to bring it around, and this time I'm going to tie it off over to the left. Now let's fold in these little raw edges because I don't want it to cover all this pretty, because I want to be able to see those little things in there. I'm going to move it over so I can get on this side. Okay, so I'm going to do another knot just to get this all nice and secured on there, nice and tight. And then all I have to do is trim these, and I'm going to trim it by cutting it just straight across. And then what you could do is you can cut little strips. Don't cut them off though, just cut up into it about 1/4 inch thick and about 2 inches going upward. Let me finish cutting this one so I can show you, and then I'll do it onto the other side. You don't have to do this, okay? You can just cut it straight. And I want you to see what I did. See? That right here. Create that little edge just like that. I'm going to do it to the other one. And this matches my pumpkin snowman, and it also matches my top hat that I did on a candle holder. So now my accessories are matching. So if you're going to create all this, you know that garland, some of these flowers, some of any little bits left over, obviously from the fabric and mesh or anything, they're all going to coordinate and match somehow. Okay? But you know, little bits of differences are the little miniature items that I put in there. The snow also kind of ties everything together. I do have more of these little snowballs. What I can do is I can put some on the top of the hat, which I think I'm going to do. I'm just going to put some little drops of glue here and there and put some little snow. So I'm going to back this camera up a little bit, and we're going to finish this because I think this is fine just the way it is. All right, we've got our snowman here positioned. I'm going to take some of these little snowballs and just put a little drop of glue and put them on the top here. Little clusters of snowballs. Maybe get that glue. A little one right here in the front. Alright, so here we go. This is the finished product. I feel this is good enough. I don't need to put any more poinsettias. I don't need to put the little pine cones. If I had smaller ones, I would definitely put some more on there. The only thing that I feel I should have done different is that I should have made this part here a little shorter, probably about 1.5 inches shorter. So I think I had said, what, 5.5 or so. Go a little bit shorter. Maybe, let's see, if you're using these specific items that I'm using, let's see. Oh, I can't see the numbers. Yeah, I would go 4.5 inches. How's that, okay? And then maybe pick some smaller little flowers. You don't have to put a poinsettia. You could have just left that out and just put little tiny pine cones or maybe some little berries, something like that. You could do this any way you want. Now, you could absolutely make something like this for a different occasion. And instead of making it like a black top hat on top of a snowman, just make a little pink or blue or whatever other color you want. Put some little bunny ears on here. Make this become a bunny. Put some little Easter decorations in there, some little Easter grass, maybe some little eggs, and you created something different for a different holiday. Use that idea and switch it up for something else. And I hope you are inspired by my project, and I hope you enjoyed it. So make sure you leave a nice comment down below. Let's go this way. A little shadow on me. Haha. Okay. Make sure you leave a nice comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this, and let me know if you're going to make this. And of course, I have my Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, I will follow you back. And make sure that if you do these projects, then what do you call it? Tag me on Twitter, I guess, so that I can see your picture. And I want to see your project. So let me know what you think. Leave a nice comment. Give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe and share. Please share on your social medias. I really appreciate everyone that has already subscribed. If you're watching this for the first time, please subscribe. It's super easy. Just hit that little button that says subscribe. I think there's one right here. There's one down below, little red button. Just go ahead and poke that. It's not even going to interrupt your viewing pleasure. So just do it, and thank you very much. And as always, enjoy.